By the way, Rome should have a unit over here. Rome should 100% have a unit over here blocking this pass. I got it now. I have it now, Midagi. I actually said that, but you weren't listening. At the very beginning, when we first spawned in, it looks like Australia. A little bit, if you tilted it a bit. Van Bradley with the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Welcome. So, heavy cavalry. One team wanted melee. One team wanted heavy cavalry, and heavy cavalry won. So, not a surprise there. They're gonna do. They're gonna try and do a cavalry push. And they wanted to defend with melee. I actually would have went ranged. If I was these guys, I would have went ranged, but Merchant Republic, no surprise. Both teams wanted it. And these guys, looks like these guys went all in on Diplo points. Oh, no, they didn't. They just happened to put an extra couple in. They put an extra couple in and it was the difference. A lot of niter and coal and iron up here is just not being taken advantage of as well. Slowly but surely. Thanks again for the raid, Van Bradley. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's at this point where I really want to see Canada put some knights together. This Caravel strength city is going to be hard to push, though. He's probably going to want to get walls up, though. I know. It's the same thing as Korean Rome. Settler card in, 6 more cities. 3 or 4 more here. Maybe 1 more up here. Another one here. Long term, you're even going to want to throw more. You're going to want to throw down here just for national parks. But this should be filled with cities within the next 10 turns, if you ask me. Zhong's in 40. Predictions. I'm stuffing my face, Broms. Did I almost break the tie? Oh, on... Oh, yeah, you're right, because they were trying to... Yeah, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know why you'd be trying to take some votes. You should be trying to give points to yourself this early. Oh, well. Yeah, I didn't affect it, but it could have been. But it could still impact the A or B choice, right? So, 2 settlers out, interestingly. He's going to want to take one of these settlers and plop it down, like, right in here. Right in amongst his teammates so that he never loses that city and he stays in the game. So that he continues to gain Diplo favor. No, but if it's, see how it's 7-6, right? If it was 7, like if, for instance, if it was tied and I went to, like, let's say there was 7 votes on each side by them, okay? And then I voted B, then my vote would decide which side it goes on. And then, so the vote would be for B, and then the winner would be whichever had the most on B. So it makes it a little bit awkward when there's only one commentator, but it's the best you can do. I'm still thinking about predictions, Moondoggy. What wonder is this? What's it called? Sahara del something? Sahara al Beta. It's a nice wonder. It's a really nice wonder. Someone needs to go settle that. It's Euro score too. So, Golden Age. No surprise. Gramps is back into free inquiry to crush that science. Rome's gone to free inquiry because they built all those commercial hubs, so their science is through the roof. Canada's also switched to free inquiry because they built all those commercial hubs. So science, science, science. Cree's gone free inquiry as well with all the. So a lot of free inquiry is people have commercial hubs down at this point. Yeah, all the Golden Age is free inquiry. Good evening. Is this AI? An AI owned the game. Yeah. No, Wishy. This is a living, breathing human beings only game. These knights are going to be no fun. He is up to crossbows. That's very impressive. And he's got this up. What's his science? His science is horrible. The fact that he's at crossbows is shocking. With 12 science. He needs to get a couple cities up. He needs to get his campuses up. Get his science relevant so that he can continue to kind of compete. Because he's going to need a stronger unit. City walls of 42 is not going to matter when he comes in here with bombards and cavalry. I'm going to try and get a general for sure. Another encampment going up. Oh yeah. He must have went hard bottom tree. He went hard bottom tree, I guarantee you. He still hasn't gone up here. Still hasn't gone here. Still doesn't have apprenticeship. He was straight beeline to machinery. Right click on machinery. Still hasn't even got apprenticeship. No surprise there. Rip. Prediction. If Rome had the settler card in and was spamming settlers instead of knights and an armory, settler card in, I would say Rome has a shot at doing something. At this point, I think based on caliber of player, I think that the victory condition is culture victory for Canada. They have their science up already. They're going to start spamming theater squares. Start crushing great people. Canada's at 8 a turn. Nobody's even competing with them. Well, Nubia is a little bit. But nobody's even competing for great people right now. Rome hasn't built any theater squares. Congo was... See, that was that you asked me what was a mistake on GG's part. Congo thinking that they were going to be the culture defense was the mistake. I know they want to build theater squares because it's part of their synergy. But unfortunately, you had an amazing spawn for Rome. You had an amazing spawn for Cree. And the only way you could have those survive and succeed was for Congo to sacrifice their synergies and then just go straight defense on the front line. And building those theater squares was just a mistake. It should have been encampments in general. So based on skill, Automation's really good. Can sim really well. And he's going to sim up Canada. And I think that's going to be the victory condition. And nobody's stopping it. Rome built all those commercial hubs, and now he's building more buildings in his encampment. They need to get theater squares up and defend that. or they're just going to be out of the they'll be out of the picture very quickly. The defense for them to have a chance is to roam again one last time, settler card in, 8 more cities, and then 4 more on top of that. Get to 20 cities, put theater squares in every city, run projects if you have to keep the culture away from Canada. And then from there, maybe Cree runs science, Indonesia's running science, maybe you can get ahead on tech tree and tank push people. That, you know. Yeah, but they're not doing it. They're just sitting on 8 cities and simming out. Industrial zone. Building a bath for some reason. Industrial zone. Don't hate the campus. It's a solid campus. I don't hate it. But if you just sit on 8 cities, you're not going to win anything. Oh, did he lose a settler? Yep. He was coming to settle right here. Cardinal Sin, turn 63, running a settler out for free. You can't do that. I don't... What is this in Rome? Yeah, that's in Rome. Oh, no, that's in Kamai, yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's doing it for industrial zones, but who cares? Get your settlers out. Yeah, they're probably a little slow. 4v4s, turn 100 to turn 120, depending on how contentious it is. Usually by turn 100, one team's got a big enough advantage where the other team just quits. This is going to fail. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. On average, at the highest level, at CWC level, they're usually pretty competitive. Yeah, between 80 and 100, they figured out who's going to win. But it depends. Sometimes there's crazy competitive matches that go a lot longer. The first 2 games that I cast both went well past turn 100. Like turn 116 and turn 109, I think. No. 4v4. Where's it so far? Still sitting on 3 cities. Longest qualifier game ever was 154. It's a long game. Yeah, it's not... The reason it's going to fail isn't necessarily even the movement cost, which is going to be extremely hard, but just that they're going to get destroyed by crossbows. They easily have the science. They got to have crossbows. In fact, they're probably not all that far. I mean, they've had really good science. They've got printing, so that's going to make them even stronger. That's going to give them an extra level of visibility. They have crossbows. All they just need to do is spend the gold to upgrade them. As soon as they get pushed, they'll do it. And then they could just straight push into muskets for stronger cities and then straight to field cannons to defend their land. $108 a turn, obviously, Naval Civ. But the team itself sitting on well over 1,200. Yeah, he's just going to upgrade, yeah. He's got 5 archers in his capital. With the card on, it's 150 gold to turn those in. He'd have those would be crossbows for. He could do that right now if he wanted to. He just doesn't. He doesn't want to pay the maintenance. The reason why those aren't crossbows right now is he doesn't want to pay more maintenance to hold on to them. He's got 2 more here and 2 more here. This push is going to fail. He turns these into crossbows probably next turn. Yeah. Spam ranged units, and as soon as you get pushed, upgrade them to the best thing you got. He's probably just waiting to put the card in. He knows he's safe for now. He's just waiting to put the card in. He probably put it in next turn. He put a 1-turn card on or whatever, a 1-turn civic. He'll turn on the 50% off card for upgrading and turn these all into crossbows. Crossbow upgrade from Archer is 125? I thought it was 60. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm thinking Archer. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. It's 250 and half off. I completely misspoke. I was thinking Slinger into Archer. And that's normal speed, 60 down to 30. You're completely right. I misspoke. They're just leveling units down here. They have no intention of taking Zanzibar, because even if they could, they'd never hold it against England. Yeah, this is... Maybe they're just bringing them down here, and then they'll upgrade into bombards. Cree is working decent science. Rome's at 104 science. Look at Canada at 151 and 95 culture. Yeah. 4 turns, those catapults become bombards. And then he'll probably make a cuirassier push. He's leveling his knights, so he'll turn them into cuirassiers, and he'll try to make the push. He's going over here. Probably for trade routes. Settle the coast to make trade routes with these guys. And also, it'll be safe. Just in case he happens to lose these cities, he'll have 1 city left in the game. And that's important for Diplo. Same thing with this settler here. He had 2. Oh, he settled the city here. This settler here, he might settle this, but he's going to eventually want a settler in these mountains or somewhere over in here where he's not in anybody's way, so that he could just stay in the game for Diplo. Yeah. Rome's science is really good, so he'll be able to defend pushes with muskets over here in a well, this general's not going to be... Well, he'll eventually have a general that's good enough for it. Does he have a medieval? Yeah, he has a medieval general. Yep. Oh no, wait, muskets are Renaissance. He needs a Renaissance general. What am I talking about? Yeah, he needs a Renaissance general. And Persia's up to 9 great point people a turn. Congo 7. So he'll have to project to get a Renaissance general. What is that tile? Right here? This is aluminum. You have that? Yeah, he just wants to settle somewhere where he can't lose the city. And in and amongst his 3... These are all 3 of his allies, right? Cree, Rome, and Indonesia are his allies. If he puts a city here surrounded by his team, then he'll always have a city in the game. So as soon as you lose your last city, it's game over, right? No, it goes in stages, right? So classic medieval. He just says classic medieval, right? Or did I see that wrong? Yeah, he has a classic medieval. Am I missing one? Yeah, he doesn't have a medieval general yet. Or a medieval... You always call it by the first name, so classic general, medieval general. Because that's how I do it. Yeah, he got all three of the first generals. He has all three of the classic. He needs a medieval general to cover Renaissance. So the Renaissance are up right now. There's 3 Renaissance available. Persia's going to get one. But he's going to need to probably project to get one. Because he's only doing 3 a turn. And Congo needs to get one too. A big play here is going to be Indonesia getting great general points now. Okay. A big play here is for Congo and Rome to get a medieval general. Congo in particular needs to make sure they get a great general. Hard building crossbows feels bad, man. He should be projecting for a medieval general. Yeah, it's a core general, but that's by the time he actually wants to use it as a core general, everyone will have cores. He did a project. Yeah, he finished a project in his capital. I mean, the core is not... Like, in order to get the core, you have to activate the general and lose it, right? So he's not going to want to use that until it's irrelevant, and it won't be irrelevant for another 50 turns, and by then, everyone will be on cores. I saw that. Guelph. Amazing. One of my favorite cities in the world. Lived there for 4 years when I went to university. Beautiful city. Beautiful university. Gorgeous campus. This is a city that I said Congo needed to come settle. This is if you go back an hour and a half in the video, you'll see me talk about this city needing to get settled to pick up the 3-3 underneath the volcano. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles from his capital. And he never settled it. I mean, yeah, it's 1 ERA score for that, but the bigger thing is just because it's a really good city. And it should have been settled already. Yeah, like he needs, like, I mean, he's getting his arenas up. He's going to want to get those positioned properly for his hockey rinks. But I would like to see him making a Machu Picchu play. I like that in here. It's a late Machu Picchu, but nobody else is going to contest it, I suppose. I'd love to see him getting settlers out here, though. I really would. I really would love him to see, just to get some more land. He's simming good, don't get me wrong. I would just love to see more cities. He's already killing it. I think, you know, it's funny. Somebody asked me earlier about the biggest misplays by GG so far. The biggest misplay was in the drafting phase. They eliminated... There's 3 civs in particular that can sim out of their minds and win culture victories. Russia, China, and Canada. They voted out Russia in the first round, and they voted out China in the first round of vetoes, before anybody could pick. Then they had first pick, and they were talking about Canada, and somebody said, let's pick Canada last for some reason. And they basically wanted to pick their culture civ last. And as soon as they passed on, the other team's like, it was like 5 seconds, boom, we'll take Canada. And ball game. And I think that they'll look back at that and say, we should have had a better plan. All your crossbows, by the way. The knights are running with their tails between their legs. And again, leveling units. They might raise it, but I don't think they try and keep it. There's no way they try and keep it. They're probably just going to raise it so they don't have a trading partner. Because right now they're just trading to this for gold, right? They're just trading, sending all these trade routes down here for gold. Well, he needs mounties, but he's not going to have mounties yet, right? Oh shit! Just a second. Let me get out of this because it's about to switch turns. Oh. Agathy, are you there, Agathy? General is asking if I know if spy missions are allowed. Because they typically get banned right now because they're bugged, right? No, but yeah, they're going to raise it, yeah. They've already taken one. Yeah, you're right, Moondog. That's a good point. So they couldn't keep it if they wanted to, yeah. They're banned by default? Okay. Oh, they're allowed by default. Oh. Kick. QDex, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. It's mostly a bad to use them, to be honest. Very hard to abuse that bug to your advantage. Often you just have a useless spy. Yeah, because it's bugged out, right? Yeah. Why ask me the rules, right? The Fumo, I think they're not bugged anymore. People played before, but yeah, but they're playing on the static 16.2 version. Yeah, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. They're just gonna kill it. They've already taken La Venta, so they can't keep it. By the way, Bombards, if you have enough of them, they could be a challenge. If he only brings 3, I would say that's not enough. These are hills, but yeah, they're going to shoot over that. It's going to be tough. This city is going to be tough to take. All of these cities are going to be tough. In fact, this is the easiest city to take, actually. Of all the cities, this would be the easiest to take. Which is the capital, but they're pretty strong. If they get a caravel strength, that'll boost their strength as well. Caravel will make it a 60 strength city, and the Bombards will have a much harder time. When they say update, they're referring to an update to the mod. There's a BBG mod. Wow. Field cannons are going to have a heyday on those muskets. They're going to need something better than muskets. Field cannons. Even with a general. Oh, they have a general now too. But those generals aren't going to be relevant. Okay, so they're all gone. Canada bought one. Canada must have bought one with faith. Or with gold or something, because they weren't even making points, I don't think. And then these guys got one. So there's their movement, their medieval renaissance. But those aren't even going to affect the field cannons because field cannons are industrial. So they denied Congo. They ended up denying Congo medieval general. The next one's 155. And it'll be Renaissance Industrial. And they're good, so they're going to have to project for it. But you'll have to get Renaissance units for it to be effective. Does it work in single player? No, but you can set up a game in multiplayer and just play by yourself. So you could set up a regular game in a multiplayer game, make it private, only have one team on, and use the BBG mod. But I don't... Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe it still would be effective inside of a regular single-player game, actually. Now that I think about it, I think it does still work in a single-player game. Yeah, it would work, right? Yeah. It would still... if it's still on, I would think it'd still work, yeah. Did someone found a religion? Cree got it. Looks like Cree. Yeah, Cree must have. Good point. For a long time, nobody did it. Cree has Buddhism. May purchase campus and theater square districts with faith. That'll be coming in handy if they make enough faith. We'll see what their faith return is. And then pagodas can be a really nice play for a Diplo favor in order to win a Diplo game. So, interesting play there. Kree's faith per turn is 15. So, I mean, unless they up that, Jesuit education is not going to get it much unless they somehow up their faith. I don't know how they're going to, other than building a whole bunch of holy sites, which would just be a waste of time. Building a ton of holy sites, there are more settlers coming out, just to get your faith up so you can buy. It would just, it's just not good math. Oh yeah, Leventa, that's would have been it. Does Leventa have a holy site? Yeah, he took Leventa and they had a holy site, that's why. So he just backed into it. I would have taken something else than Jesuit education, though, I think. I don't know. Unless you're going to build holy sites, it's not often very valuable to even have a religion, so. Yeah, so he's upgraded these crossbows just to be safe. Probably because he had the card in, right? Put the card in, upgrade them all. Bob's your uncle. You don't have to worry about putting the card back in. So the muskets backed off once he got spanked by field cannons. 4 field cannons and 2 bombards. Another bombard. If he's got field cannons, that means he can make cuirassiers. So as long as he has the money, these knights can become cuirassiers and they have +5 combat strength. This is going to be trouble once again. And this guy, and he's getting his camps. Like the barracks, I mean, just run projects. Just run a couple projects, get the general, and I don't know. I don't even know what the. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna want to put a city over here. Yeah. Now keep in mind, it's interesting. He must have had a bunch of horses, so he just upgraded these. These do not get the +5 that Congress. Oh, I say 6 turns on Congress. So these knights are probably not even gonna get there in time anyway. So the heavy cavalry is really not going to make that much. Speaking of which, we're that close on Congress. 5 turns on Golden Age. Congo. Gonna miss. Looks like actually 1 more point for Heroic Age. Heroic Age Victoria. That'll be fun. Congo needs 9 points for Heroic Age. Everybody else looks like they're going to be Dark Age gamers at this point. Well, no, he's pretty close. He has what, 4 turns? 5 turns, so yeah. They're moving the horses here. Yeah, this is going to be scary. Yeah, the game is essentially over. Like, at this point, it's just gotten to the point where this is a lot of pressure, and so this is going to get taken over. Even if they can't push through here, Rome just didn't get, like, again, one settler. You don't need 8 cities, you need 18 cities. Like, the settler card should have been in 15 turns ago, and he should have 15 cities right now. Simple as that. That's the only way you defend this, because Canada is just simming their brains out right now. You have all of this unbelievable land, and it's just going unsettled. Look at this land. Unsettled. Unsettled. Oh my god, that's funny. I didn't even notice this. England brought a galley, or a caravel over and took Nazca. That's funny. Keep in mind that they can't see the uranium right now, right? You're talking about this here? Or, sorry, where was it I just saw it? They can't see the uranium. I can see all the resources and where they are, but they don't see any of that. Yeah, that's exactly right, Lafum. They just didn't. Like, there shouldn't be any empty land right now. At turn 73, all of this land should be settled right now. Look at these campuses. I keep saying it. All of these campuses should be settled. All of this land. England didn't even try to go more than 3 cities. This is about to be taken down. They got walls up, which slowed them down, but they brought catapults over. And actually, they might actually have. Maybe he'll try and take that. Although I don't know. I don't know how he'll defend it if he gets caravels up. But at any rate, yeah. They didn't even try to force out. They should have cities. All of this land should be covered in cities. There shouldn't be any empty space. It's as simple as that. Even over here, I feel like this should not be empty. I mean, I know there's no fresh water, but even like, just. You know, you could have you can build coastal cities because you're not worried about England. Or you're not worried about the ocean because of England, right? You're not worried about that. But, I mean, you know, I would like to see a couple cities on that coast to finish Canada off. But all this mini-map space, all of this green is a sin. All of this green right here is a sin. And then all of this is a sin. It's just way too much green for turn 80. Or 73 or whatever. Too much green for turn 60 for that matter. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously freshwater is great, but if you have to, I mean, even at this point, you could just buy the granary. Just get some money from your friends, or, I mean, he's making good gold, I'm sure. 170 gold a turn. Just you can put cities down, buy the granary, build some farms. They'll be fine. You're not going to get to pop 10 very quick, but who cares? I mean, I'm sure his plan is if the plan is now domination. He's even building cuirassiers, right? He's building cuirassiers, and it's a ball game. But if the plan was to go national park culture game, I'm sure he would throw some settlers out here later in the game and build national parks. I guess he's just under the assumption, hey, I'm killing everybody in science. I'm killing everybody in culture. We're about to run these guys over. Why bother? Well, you could build an aqueduct if there's fresh water. You can't build an aqueduct unless there's a mountain or fresh water, right? So you can't. If you build a city anywhere in here, you can't build an aqueduct, right? I mean, he could build a city here or here and build an aqueduct there, right? Because that would be in range. Sorry, where's the settler lens? Right here. So he could build a city on one of these two and build an aqueduct to that. But cities in here would never be able to build an aqueduct. Yeah, you would literally just spam cities over here for national parks. Yeah, but he's building cuirassiers. They're just looking to go and wipe people out at this point. He's built walls here, but yeah. I mean, you can go back and see what turn it was that I first started saying it, but playing SimCity on 8 cities, Big mistake. He's letting them do this for free. These should be all cities. Delete that, resettle it. All these campuses up here that have been given no love. 3 bombards on the way. But like, I mean, even if they take them out, which I don't think they will. Yeah, he kept it. He had a horse come over and take that. But this frigate's going to have another word about that. He got a Zhang out, but if he gets a frigate and a couple of galleys out, or a couple of caravels out, he probably won't be able to spam units fast enough. He has some generals, or some admirals, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep him from getting crushed. This fleet caravel, or sorry, fleet frigate will just delete units. What is the current status of the well, it's getting close. Is it? Oh, they're starting to bring the units down. I would imagine they'll have a concede once this is taken. I mean, they're so far behind now. I mean, that you can't stop this now, right? The time to stop this was 25 turns ago with Rome, because Rome's stats aren't terrible, but they should be twice that, because they should have twice as many cities, or more than twice as many cities. Yeah, like you see that the crossbows are bouncing off this cuirassar. And it's heavy cav. For 3 more turns, that heavy cav gets +5 as well. Another cuirassar here coming in from them. They've upgraded to cuirassars, but they're going to be a few turns late to take advantage of the +5. It won't matter though. The cuirassars won't be stopped by level 46 strength cities and crossbowmen. It just won't happen. I'm guessing that Canada went top tree, so they don't have cuirassars, if I had to guess. What am I doing? Yeah. Sorry, wrong side. Oh, I'm wrong. They did go and get it. So they can go to cuirassars. So they didn't even bother. They got to a point where they realized they were going to run them over. Because like typically if you're going culture, you want to go top tree for flight and broadcast center and then into computers. But I think they just got to a point where they were out-teching them and out-building them so fast that they're just like, yeah, we'll just go bottom tree and build and crush him. So he's got knight cores. Wow, look at that culture tree work. Yeah, he raced to nationalism. Look at that. He just beelined it. He beelined straight through to nationalism. Made cores. He made cores. He'll very soon make those cuirassars, and they'll just come in and just smash these. He might not even worry about the walls. He's got a core bombard, but with these farms, with all these farms around, he can take that without even having a. He'll just smash into that and kill it. He's going tanks. Well, yeah, maybe he gets there. Hopefully I don't lag out here. I should have switched back over to my view in between turns. Okay, we're okay. Is he gonna... Oh, sorry. This game will be over in 12 turns. This game is going to be over in 12 turns. Yeah, 6 farms and empty. Oh yeah, like this city is just such a bad city to have to get pushed. Yeah. This is They had their muskets in here thinking, okay, well, we can hold this for a bit. Negative. All these bombards, these chokes, trying to get through these chokes, but it's not going to be enough. Sorry, I'll switch over back to here. There'll be another Congress. They switched to... Oh, here you go. Yeah, so cuirassars incoming. Bombards. 2 core bombards and 2 core cuirassars. That's all it's going to take. He's got some more coming up here. He's probably even, yeah, he's gone back to simming probably, yeah. One more here that he can core up on that, but he's just going back to simming. It'll be all it takes. He's actually making stables here. Competing for generals. Canada's about to get another general. They're actually making... Yeah, he just pivoted. He's like, you guys are having all the fun with the war. Screw this. I ain't going for culture victory. I want to run people over. So there's an industrial era for Persia. And that was the first industrial off their board, was Persia. So they've got theirs. So they've got their general to boost their cuirassiers. And then Canada's going to get theirs. Moondoggy, I would love to hear your prediction, by the way. Yeah, he's working 4 of the 5 farms trying to get his pop up. He doesn't even have time to like. I guess he's calling this his escape settler, which he'll get away, but it doesn't even matter at this point. It doesn't even matter. A fiery post-match interview with Gramps, a must-have, please. I'll definitely see if he wants to chat, get his opinions. Okay, so Rome has gone cuirassiers, so he can defend the flank a little bit here. But this is just the thing is they don't even see all this, right? They see this and they see this, but they don't see this or this, and for that matter, until a minute ago, they didn't see this. Like these units are just going to get deleted. Like, literally deleted. Rome's science just plummeted? Yes, because they were on free inquiry. It's the new era, and they were on free inquiry. So they had literally all 8 of these cities had a commercial hub that was probably +3 or +4. He would have had the double commercial hub adjacency card on, which meant each of those was making like 8 gold and 8 science per turn. 8 times 8, 64. His science probably just dropped by somewhere around 60. Right? Everyone's did, right? Everyone was on free inquiry. Even Wilfred, his science was over 200, right? Everybody's science just dropped by 50 or 60 or 70 because they all had commercial hubs running double adjacency on their commercial hubs and getting science for it as well. But now we have a lot of normal and Dark Age gamers and just 1 golden. And a heroic, actually. England made their heroic. We knew that was going to happen, actually. And a golden age, and then normal and Dark Age gamers all around. So these guys are... They have monumentality. Reform the coinage, so that's tons of gold. Their gold output's going to be big up. Well, they don't have a ton of trade routes, so it's not going to be that big. And then Hicksunt, so not a lot of value in the heroic, but decent. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And these guys are on Reform the Coinage, so trade routes. That's heavy gold, not that they really need it. That's a lonely knight right there. That's a super lonely knight. In fact, they're actually probably just ignoring it because they just want to go past it. They don't even care. England could purchase settlers, yeah, but they got no place to put them. Spies executing the chosen operation. Let's see. I'll go disrupt rocketry because nobody's going to have that in the next 30 turns. Producing or purchasing military units using the chosen currencies 100% cost until next round. This is a tough one. Nobody has faith, really. Maybe I make faith more expensive. They're probably going to... No, I think generally speaking, people are going to vote here, so I should vote down here. I don't want to tip the scales, though. I think I go there. Make it more expensive to buy with faith. Because they're going to be trying to make it cheaper, right? It's possible that FAM tries to make it more expensive since they already have all the units they need. Yeah, this is just affecting military units. That doesn't affect their settlers. Yeah. I was wondering what you guys are saying, only military units. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I think this is the play there. And then, again, I'll vote against me on that. No, this is... So, and actually, this actually makes more sense as well because nobody has faith income, right? But no, if you have Grandmaster's Chapel, which is the tier 2 government building, then you can purchase military units with faith. But nobody has that. Nobody has that anyway. So this is the right play. Make it more expensive to buy units with faith because nobody else is going to be doing that. And the votes are going to be down here, so I'll be accounting that, and I won't tip the faith. I won't tip the side. And yeah, that makes sense. Disrupt arbitrary. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're probably making a little bit of faith from their coastal cities. They're making 23 a turn, so they probably bought one or two, but there's no point. In fact, they probably bought this. Actually, this is a Zhong, which they turned into an ironclad. They probably actually bought. They probably actually bought this with faith because they were probably saving up faith this whole time, right? It'll be interesting to see what happens here. So it usually takes. I mean, right now it's kind of a foregone conclusion, but it usually takes a little while because they're debating like who to vote or what to vote, what strategy to use. There are times when the strategy talk can be extremely, extremely in depth. Like, who do we cancel for trade routes, or what kind of city state do we cancel, or do we make it easier to purchase turn units with faith? Like, this game is extremely unusual to have no faith civs at all. Having no faith civs whatsoever is extremely unusual. Spies chose 2 levels higher for siphoning funds. Not a big deal. More expensive to produce units. This is not a surprise. I would imagine that, yeah, this is exactly what I thought would happen. These guys chose to make it more expensive to produce units because they already have all the units they need, right? They have more than enough units to end this game. So they're making it more expensive for them to build units to defend themselves. Which is exactly what I thought would happen. And then in the bottom here, Chosenberg got 2. So Gramps actually took it. The last time somebody else took this. It's interesting. Should have given it to the same person twice, I would think. Seven turn in Kumai. I didn't see. Oh, up here? Yeah, see, these all got twice as expensive, right? They were trying to build units, and they all just got twice as expensive to build. So instead of 5 turns and 3 turns and whatever, they all just got twice as expensive to build units. And they don't care because they're going to run them over, right? Like, this city just fell. I don't know. They'll have to decide who gets to take this. Canada's going to take that one. There you go. Yeah, they're just going to keep running through. There's nothing these guys can do. Like, at this point, I mean, he's building an aqueduct in a theater square. They know the writing's on the wall. I would imagine this game gets CC'd in the next 5 or 10 turns. Like, they're going to take out all this, and then it's toast, right? He never got an escape settler out. Not that it matters, but yeah. At this point, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, that culture. Even if they decided, even if they made a gentleman's agreement to have no war from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, there was no way. The way that these guys played their free sim, these guys did not free sim anywhere near the way they needed to, compared to the way that Animation was free simming. Like I said, he even stopped. Like he could have easily threw some stuff. Oh, there you go. England jumped over here to settle the wonder. At this point, who cares, right? But can't if this game was going to free sim, then he would not be doing this because Canada would want that land for parks. But at this point, who cares? It's over. Yeah, he did well. He didn't get super wide, but he got to like 10 or 12 cities or whatever it was. 4, 8, 9, 10. He got to 10 cities and was doing good. And there was a point at which he could have threw the settler card in and built, 4, 5, 6 more settlers. But at that point, I think he was just like, yeah, this game's in the bag anyway. Let's switch to military and have some fun. And so I think that's probably why he just went ahead and yeah. Yeah, there comes the general with the cuirassiers. That city will fall very quickly. This bombard has a general now. Did Canada get their? Yeah. Congo just actually bought one. Congo just bought the last one, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. But it was a good call. I mean, whatever. Put up a fight. But yeah, Canada got their industrial era general, and they've moved it forward. Oh, Jeanne d'Arc, nice. And so this bombard will actually be able to step in 2 tiles to here next turn and shoot the city. And with 44 strength, that bombard may take all of those walls off. Enough that they could probably just go ahead and hit. But yeah, they bought the general, but they've got no units left to affect it with. Yeah, exactly. He's buying it exactly. I think the point was to deny it, right? He denied. Semantics at this point, but he was denying it from Nubia. I think was the point, right? Because then now those field cannons don't have it. But again, like I said, Rome and it would have mattered if Rome and Cree had 15 cities each. But alas, it's turned into a landslide, Shockman. Yeah. It was actually quite competitive early, but like I'll beat the horse one last time. These guys just stopped simming. Or, well, I guess they were simming, but just with 8 cities. They needed to sim out 8 more cities. That they had all the land in the world, and they left it unsettled. All the land in the world, they left it unsettled. To have a great profit? I mean, I don't know. Did somebody get a great profit? There's only one great profit, right? Oh, England must have built, England must have built a national or a holy site at some point somewhere. There's not really much point, but they were irrelevant from the game from the get go. They were completely irrelevant from the game from the get go. What? Did I miss something? There's only one religion. Oh, you're asking what? Oh, you're just answering the question. Why get a? Yeah, the reason to get the 2 main reasons to get religion in a multiplayer game like this, a teamers game, is to get Crusader or Defender. Get Defender so the other team can't have it, or get Crusader just so that you can defend yourself or whatever. Beyond that, there are some cultural ways that you can benefit from it. But militaristically, that's the main reasons. Off to a 1-year-old's birthday party. Awesome cast, mate. Thank you, Moondoggy. I appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the birthday. On the list of great persons, Indonesia has one at 780. Oh, you're right. But it's not showing up. Maybe they didn't select the stuff? Do they even have a holy site? Maybe they built Stonehenge? Oh, they built Stonehenge, and it's right here. They just haven't used it yet. He could actually get Defender. The problem is that he doesn't have any place. Like he doesn't have enough faith to spread it. But if he could ever spread Defender, wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, he actually built Stonehenge. That's why he might activate it now. I didn't see. That was a good eye. I didn't see it there. Yeah, I think at this point he built Stonehenge just for the heck of it. Maybe he has Defender in mind, but I don't see it being relevant. I mean, at this point, Congo can't even defend themselves because they got no science, right? Like they don't even have gunpowder yet. Yeah, they're not even gonna get to muskets before they lose their last city. I mean, Kree's religion isn't anything valuable. There's no value to their religion. So I don't know. This crossbow is just kind of this choke is just the worst. He should have pushed this is what he should have done. He should have just pivoted up here and pushed this. This is so much more wide open and easy. You could just surround this with bombards and just step in, smash it, step back, bring your cursors in. Like he's trying to do a budget. He's just trying to do it on a budget, right? 3 cursors and 3 bombards isn't going to take over somebody who's got crossbows stacked up all over, running through lakes and chokes, right? He's trying to do it on a budget, and it's just not going to work. He's like, these guys are taking care of business here. Let me go step through these. But again, these units probably won't even get to this city until after the game's over. They'll probably CC just as he's getting there, because I don't see this game lasting another 5 or 10 turns. I don't think. The writing's on the wall. Other than, I will say, and you got to give credit to Gamer Gramps and the guys playing. I should say this 100%. I've been smashing them, especially Kree and Rome. And even for, to some extent, Congo for the way they played early in the game. That cost them this problem. They're all extremely new to this scene. Gamer Gramps hadn't even really ever played multiplayer at all for Civ 6 until a few weeks ago. And he was asked to put a team together to help fill out the qualifiers and stuff like that. And he got some people from his community to come and play with him. But none of these guys are particularly strong on the multiplayer scene or have a lot of experience. So not surprising that they were going to lose this game. Yeah, those bombards, just 3 bombards took down the walls and took the city to like 20% strength. Ball game. General, automatic, and elite. General and automatic in particular, I know and are quite good. They're not like top 10 players or anything like that, but they're really good players. So like experienced players. Pause for a crash. And then elite. I don't know him that well, but I was told he's a pretty good player. Other than that, yeah. Yeah, they're much more experienced, yeah. Gunslinger and Elite are both good as well. Well, there you go. So, I mean, I would imagine they would be, right? I couldn't imagine 2 players that are as good as Automatic and General putting 2 people on their team that aren't good at all, right? So when you take a team of 4 guys who are experienced CPL players who've been playing multiplayer a lot versus 4 guys who don't have that level of experience. This game was pretty much a, going to happen the way it was going to happen, whether you liked it or not. There was not really anything that was going to stop it from happening this way. Like, even with God spawns, like Sleepy and Lestaba, they just didn't know what to do with God spawns. Free sim God spawns, they didn't know what to do with it. They got halfway to what they needed to do. In my opinion, who would be the best player overall in CWC Team CBL? In teams? I mean, I don't know the scene that well. I think on the team's side, I think you'd have to put like Tordrid is really high up there because he's considered one of the best 5 players in the world, and he focuses on teams. Also, when his teammate Corny is also, I would probably put up as a top player in that realm. Jack the Ripper's pretty good. I would put him right up on probably on a top 5 list if I was giving my opinion. Again, I don't know the scene that well. I'm just trying to think of people I know that I've seen do amazing things. Yeah. Who else? Lege is really good. Lege. Lege is really good. I think he'd be probably considered up on a high up on a list. Rage of Boom's a good player. I don't think I would. I don't think I would say he's a top 5 teamers player if we're talking about like the very top players. But he's absolutely very good. Actually, I've just played a game with him. Actually played a game 2 days ago. Rage was on my team. Who else was on my team? Damodar was on my team, a few other guys. And then I was actually sandwiched between Falcon, who rated me earlier, also goes by as a streamer, he goes by the name Southrix. He was Georgia on my left, and I had Dystoria on my right. And I was just holding my own for like 80 turns in the middle. Eventually they kind of crushed me, but I held on to like turn 90, and then we GG'd it because our team was just not quite keeping up. We actually had a play on winning a Diplo victory. We actually had a good shot at Diplo victory, but nobody wanted to play it out. But it was a good game. I'm trying to think of who else was on my team. I would just, the names aren't coming to my head for some reason. Who was it? I'm just trying to stroll through here and remember. Damodar was on my team, like I said. He's really good. One of Tomb Raider's good buddies was on my team as well. I'm trying to remember his name. But yeah, Rage and a couple other guys. Yeah, he's a good simmer. Yeah, he actually played he had a terrible Cleopatra spawn and still made it work, and was quite competitive, kind of off on his own. He even made it work. Good player. Waiting for Gamer Gramps. Still waiting for Gamer Gramps. Yes, I was playing Nubia, yeah. I was stuck in the middle. Every time I play teamers, I'm stuck in a bad spot. Every time. It's inevitable that I'm on the front lines defending against 2 or 3 people. It's the worst. But I held on. I was just... I made two key mistakes. Oh, I saw the game. You held for a long time. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I could do was just hold. I was doing everything I could. I made 2 key mistakes. I played a little bit too cautious at the beginning, trying not to get rolled early, because I knew I was sandwiched between 2 very good players, right? Falcon on one side, Destoria on the other. I was kind of shitting my pants. And I got to 5 cities, and I should have gotten to 7 and then 8 really quickly. But instead, I just took I took 3 turns to spam out some extra potato archers. Then it took 3 or 4 turns to spam out some extra horsemen, just so I had lots of guys around to protect my land, while everybody else was kind of just still free simming. So I had the biggest military by double, playing cautious, when I should have gotten out 2 or 3 more settlers. Oh, they're calling it. GG's. They're just discussing whether or not to call it. And so yeah, that was kind of how it all so that slowdown cost me being simmed up, because if I could have got to 8 cities, got my campuses down, got my commercial hubs down, I could have gotten my science up to compete a little bit. And I would just slow down a little bit too much, so I was behind on sim. Then I tried to send some of those extra horses and potato archers to take out a city-state. And I got over there, and they had 8 archers, and they just repelled me, and I had to turn around. By the time I got turned around, I was getting pushed by Falcon. And it was just it was the worst timing in the world. If I had just stayed where I was, I could have held even better. But as it was, yeah, I kind of folded. But I held on as best I could. That's the main problem when you're 1v2. Choices are very hard to make. Yeah, I was just I got to get some units up so I don't get crushed. But it turned out I had plenty of time to get some more cities out and then get the units out, right? But just the order I did it in was just... I was nervous, right? I knew I was surrounded by players who had more experience and were better, right? And I was just ugh. Anyway, that's enough about that. The game's over, ladies and gentlemen. We won once again. The enemy has capitulated. Just to jump in here real quick. It was very simple. It was very simple. Still haven't settled this. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this city. It's literally only hills. The only spot, in fact, the only flat tile in the city is a perfect spot for a campus. And then a luxury. It's just gloriousness. Petra City for days. Even up here, there's tons of hills. You could have built a city up here. Put some campuses down. Up in here, again, Cree. Why campuses? Right? All this land should have been settled. Look at these rivers with all these hills. It's got to be settled by now. It just all has to be settled. And that was the difference in the game, right? These guys got their 7 or 8... Well, how many? 2, 4, 6, 8. These guys got their 8 cities, but then they switched to military and pushed. These guys got to 8 cities and then just tried to sim them up. And that was the difference. These guys thought they could just sim out the game on 8 cities, building industrial zones and wonders. These guys got to 8 cities, created a military, and ran people over.